Welcome to the first episode of 2025 for the Zen Gen Words of Wisdom podcast. I hope you all had a relaxing, calm, introspective new year. I hope you came into this year affirming that you are ready to continue on your healing journey, continue on with trying to find who you are at your core, your true inner self, and coming in with renewal. I was not, I put this on my threads. I was going to take a week off from doing my podcast because, around the new year, I like to really reflect and just take my time to just cleanse myself of energies, and rewash myself with new energies. But no. Okay, so if you hear banging and stuff, and my heat's probably gonna go off soon. So I'm sorry for all the sound. I know it messes up with the levels. So my bad. It's nothing I can do. It's cold as shit outside, so I need the heat. But anyway, that doesn't take away from my message. So, like I said, I wasn't planning to do an episode, not for another week or two, but then I was called to do it. I was called to speak because clearly of what's gone down since it turned January 1st. We didn't even get a second to breathe or soak in the first day of the new year. This episode is going to be a bit woo-woo, but you know what? What is this? Episode 6 already I'm on, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, episode 6. If you've made it this far in my podcast and you made it to episode 6 and you've been a consistent listener, then there's no need for me to say woo-woo. By this point, you've been listening to my podcast, you know what it is. So we didn't even get a second to breathe when all of these tragedies occurred on the first day of the new year. Now, leading up to it, right, there were those plane crashes, just issues going on with the airplanes. That was absolutely bizarre. But into the new year, whenever it's the new year, there's an energy of unity and an energy of hope, looking forward to the future. And when people around the world are in this sort of energy, it trickles so far into the atmosphere, into the higher realms, into the ascension of this planet. I do want to say that the new year isn't necessarily the new year, meaning it was created off of a Roman calendar. So back in the day, talking about ancient times, January 1st was not the first day of the new year. Just want to put that out there. Regardless, people around the world take it as so. It doesn't take away from the energy that's being created. But that is to say that, like I've been telling you all to do, to look with your spiritual eyes. If any part of you, when you woke up the next day and you saw your timeline and the news or what have you, and you saw all these things on everything that's happened on your timeline, if you said to yourself, this is very strange, good for you. Because in previous episodes, if you don't remember, I'll refresh your memory, but the darkness, the negative energies, the people who are trying to cultivate this negative energy, They know that their time is done. Here we go, y'all. I'm getting the freaking chills. They know that Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, has ascended. The vibrations on this planet has risen. Like I've said before, this is a very, very detrimental time in the timeline of this planet's prophecy. So she's ascended, and those darkness, negative energies, the powers that were, are doing everything they can right now, throwing everything in the kitchen sink to keep humanity in a state of anger, separation, fear-mongering, sadness, anxiety. Okay, this is coming to mind. I don't know what, for some reason, maybe because it reflects my personality, and also I feel like the viewers or listeners, I say viewers if you're listening on the podcast because I'm also recording on video right now, that the community that's coming to my Zen Gen podcast is one that has a super unique, creative inner child within them. And so I say that because the references that I'm receiving are very connected to youthful, pop culture-ish references sometimes. Anyway, I say that to say, like, do you remember Monsters, Inc.? Okay? Remember with the Doors, the way they were capturing energy from children, right? By scaring them, right? Then they put a little capsule, close the door and all that stuff, right? So it's similar to that, these negative forces. There's something that's called energy harvesting. It's literally what it sounds like. You're literally taking in other people's energies to enhance yourself. And so the reasons that, here we go. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just getting full body chills. The reason that so much happened in one day on January 1st, which is actually coming to me now, is that is a beautiful thing in terms of it shows how ascended we have become now on this planet as opposed to the past. So many spirits, souls on this planet have woken up or waking up. Workers of God's source creator of the universe are all doing their jobs, speaking their truths. This is the year of truth. When I said 2025 was going to be a doozy, like it's going to be a doozy. So for anyone that's still stuck on that 3D mindset, you're in for an awakening. And for those who are already in that mindset, it's a great time to expand on that. So that when you see things like this happen, immediately your spidey senses go off. It immediately went off for me. I was like, oh, here we go. So anyways, going back to Monsters, Inc., right? And when they were taking the energy. So thriving off of that low vibrational energy because this planet has ascended and is all about elevation now, doing better for yourself, right? Cutting off things, people, places, whatever that don't work for you anymore, right? These are all part of raising your vibrations, right? Breaking generational curses, wanting to learn more about spirituality. And so they know they're losing the grip that they've had for so long. And it doesn't surprise me because I mean, they've been trying to do this forever now, but I mean, they have been doing it, been successful in keeping humanity in a low vibrational time. But again, like, we have a lot of forces, high vibrational forces next to, you know, God, ensuring that this planet remains on its highest timeline. And we've been successful. The vibrations are super high right now. And, you know, people are being exposed, you know, the truths in a lot of what's been covered and hidden is now coming to the surface and will continue to come to the surface. So be prepared. But I was saying that to say that, like, by doing these attacks, by all of the incidents that happened on the same exact day, they needed to create these many events back to back to back on the same day, the day right after everybody was celebrating renewal, everyone coming together, unifying, and hope. Ooh, I'm getting chills again, y'all. Hope is a frequency of God's source, creator, universe. I mentioned that in the other episode. And so think of it like everyone's here, high level, right? So they create all these events to, boom, knock that energy back down here. And it's unfortunate that casualties were created from this. And going back to energy harvesting, bringing the energy back down here, now you're at a level of the fear, the anger, the anxiety, the sadness. Literally going from like 100, right? This great energy of New Year's, good time, celebration, down to 0. They had to pull this to try to get people back down there. When I saw that, I was like, they are shook. These negative energies are shook. Because God is here. The light is here. The light won that spiritual war. Y'all, when I'm talking right now, my body is in full chills. I suppose this was a message that I had to share now. The battle between good and evil, I don't want to say good and evil. Let me not say that. Because here's another thing too, right? You do need negative energies for balance. Yin and yang, that's what that is, right? But at the level of negative, that's the difference. We'll get into another episode of that about balancing your energies and why you need both. I have so many topics this year, guys, that I want to share and just share the universal knowledge on. So I'm going to give you guys all of that because it's going to add to your ascension for sure. But going back to this, so I listed down all the things that happened, right? So we had the plane crashes, then we had the New Orleans attack, which, you know, I know they're claiming it's an ISIS attack, right? It's just the puppet masters are really puppeting. They're really puppeting right now. And I didn't find it that strange to see that, you know, everyone had been supporting Palestinians during this war. A lot of solidarity, unification, support, and then they do this. You see what I'm getting at? Right? And then we had the shooting in Queens. Then the Cybertruck blew up in front of Trump's hotel, which the man unalived himself before the explosion. And this is what he wrote that really stuck. So he had left 2 letters in his notes section of his phone. This man was a Green Beret, by the way. And he wrote, "This was not a terrorist attack. It was a wake-up call. Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence." That really stuck out to me because, I mean, he's not lying. And then finally there was a explosion in Hawaii as well on New Year's, where 3 were killed and 20 were injured from fireworks. Now, this is 5 incidents that happened on the same day. And what's so significant also about this happening in Hawaii is Hawaii is a very, very spiritual land. Very high vibrational. I've never been. I'm dying to go one day, but I can just feel it. But anyone that's from there or has been there, they say that. Hawaii, on that Pacific coast, along that whole area, was sacred, high vibrational lands a very long time ago. And this area was all about connecting with source, spirit, the light, energies of joy, peace, creativity, respect for the lands, the rivers, the waterfalls, the trees, the grass, the flowers, the sky. Y'all, I'm sorry, it's coming. Yo, this episode is for me too. Again, the chills are nonstop. And so this explosion happened in Hawaii. And if you're thinking about Hawaii, you could think back to that time when the fire happened. Yeah. And so all of this went down on January 1st. And if you don't need further proof of them trying to bring humanity down to low vibration, Mickey Guyton, she sang Imagine before the ball dropped. Imagine by John Lennon, right? A song about peace, love, unity. Right before the ball dropped. That was already setting the tone and the vibration for people to feel, take in, to bring more awareness to what's going on around them. And it worked. There was a silence in that crowd that was deafening, not in a bad way. And people watching at home, I'm sure, felt their hearts opening, their minds opening, their eyes opening to the truth. And these are all things I'm sure that was mapped out way beforehand, because again, it just showed me that the ascension on this planet is moving at a speed of light, and ascension of humanity. So going back to energy harvesting, this is why you also have to be very careful of who you listen to, who you watch, who you go see perform. Yeah, man. They live off of your energy to feed into theirs. And what's not good about that is you're getting your energy siphoned by different people, different things. And it will and can leave you in a state of imbalance within yourself. Just like Monsters, Inc., they take your energy, and it's done without people even realizing it. People waking up to it now. They see on TV and concerts and shit like that. Like, there's a lot of that happening right now. Been happening. It's depleting your energy and giving it to them. Whoever's energy harvesting. And energy is life currency. Sure, on this physical plane, it's money is currency, but on the spiritual higher dimensional planes, energy is the true currency of life. The way you are protective of, let's say, your bank account, your money, you won't let no one come in and touch that shit. It's yours, right? It belongs to you. You won't let no one come in there and dip into it. Your energy should be that way as well. You should be very selective of who you let into your life, who are allowed to be around you, and what you are giving your time and energy to as well. All these are very important when it comes to energy. You know, I like to give lessons or teach you to some degree in each episode. This episode is about being protective of your energy, not only from people, but from the things you are watching, reading, listening to as well. All of these are factors in how to be more mindful of where you're placing your energy. Have to be protective of your energy. It's a necessity to keeping yourself in a state of flow. It helps you to connect yourself within, which again, the point to connect within and align is to get you closer and back to source as a soul. Because when you go and transition after this life, you'll see. That's why when people say to me, or some people, they don't believe and all that, I'm like, all right, I'm not here to convince you, but I'm just saying, like, you will see when it's your time to transition home. You will see. It's very real. Very real. So, energy, please be very mindful of what you allow in. Treat it accordingly. Because these negative energies, they are really doing the most right now, but they can't stop it. They can't stop it. Their time is done. They know it. Send love and light to all of the victims who were a source of sacrifice for the negative energies, the negative entities, our energy harvesting. Like I said with Monsters, Inc., in the beginning of the movie, until they learned that you can have the same amount of energy from a happy child, a laughing child, versus a child that's in fear, scared, crying. Confirmation. And so, because the vibrations on this planet has risen, so many people have awakened. That light within them, that spiritual light switch has been turned on now. They need to find the low vibrational energies somewhere. They came at the expense of people's lives. This is what they do. And I guess I should end the episode like this. Who or what these negative energies are, right? Clearly, it's a lot of positions in power. But from a spiritual sense, there are beings that have thrived off of low vibrations of humanity. That's how they survive. It's real. And they shift into people that are in positions of power. They try to recruit people to their side. And even if they haven't, just people who are constantly in fight or flight mode, who have not worked through their trauma. It keeps them in this low vibration, right? Which ultimately, like, literally feeds them to keep their energies going. And so when I say energy is currency, like, this is mine, this is me, you're taking a piece of me, which is, forget money, piece of you, your soul and your spirit, your energy, your life force, dipping their hands into that without even your permission. And you're over here going about your life and day, wondering why you're thinking certain things, wondering why shit is happening a certain way, wondering all these things. Or wondering, why am I so obsessed with this celebrity? Or, I said on a previous episode, right? The reincarnation episode. We are all made of energy. This is why this matters. It's not a vibe thing. It's what we are. It's science as well. We're made up of cells. Break it all the way down to the atom. Open the atom up. It's energy. You see me right now and everything around me because of energies coming together. Now we're getting to quantum physics, which I am nerd at. This might be a little too advanced at the moment, depending on who's listening or watching, but it's quantum physics. Like, everything, this laptop, my mic, this phone, me, are all together because of energy. Energy is what's keeping this glued together to create matter. Matter comes with depth and weight, right? To create this microphone, to create me, whatever, right? Physical things. And so that's why energy is important. So now imagine you, all right, it's coming to me. Imagine you are this microphone. You're made up of this energy to make this microphone. If you allow whatever is energy harvesting you to continue to take energy from you, bang, 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 eventually this is not going to be a form. You feel me? Eventually there's nothing there. And now it's going to be completely depleted. That's what can happen if you're not careful with what you're taking in or who you're around. Like, you ever been around someone here, for example, you ever been around people that's just like going through shit, and when you leave the conversation, now you're feeling kind of like sluggish. You're like, dang, now you feel away. You know, you're something about your energy changes. It's that same thing. That's the same way. There's a thing called also energy vampires. People who leech on to others who have a higher level of high vibrations in them. They leech on to these people so that it makes them feel good. It's very similar to energy harvesting. And so they feel good after speaking to you because of that. This is for a lot of my folks out there who are empaths. Empaths are people who can feel people's emotions. Be very careful with that. If you feel like you're one of those people, you have to make sure you spiritually protect yourself. So you're not a sponge soaking in other people's energies and you have no boundaries for your own energy. And now you take that in. Then you're wondering why you're feeling sad, depressed out of nowhere, or, you know, these dark thoughts, let's say. It could very well be someone else's energy that you soaked in. It's real, y'all. So I'm going to tie this up and go back to energy harvesting. And so by the powers that were creating these chain of events on the same day, right after, again, celebration of the new year, where everyone is in a great energy space, Mickey Guyton was singing Imagine by John Lennon. They are trying to do everything to keep you at this low state, which is not a great vibration to be in. I never met one person ever in life that said, I like to be sad. I like to be angry. I like to be jealous. I like to be depressed. I like to be anxious. I like to be scared. So again, I wanted to get into, I wasn't sure which direction this episode was going towards. Just kind of let my spirit guide me and my spirit team. So at the very least, I knew I had to say something to make sure you guys are keeping your spirits high. Don't let what happens on New Year's Day deter you from your journey and you awakening. Don't let it make you feel like the world is just okay, the world is imploding, but that is only to bring about change, but positive change, to clean out all the darkness that had the reins on humanity for so long, so that everyone can be in a state of peace, love, calmness, at ease, inspired, motivated, understanding, compassionate. That's where Mother Gaia and this planet is ascending to. And what comes from that is what people like to call magic fantasy, right? Can't be real. Oh, no, my friends. Shit is very real. But we've been so dimmed down. Our light has been as souls and spirits that incarnate here on earth through karma, which is how they keep you in this negative loop, by the way. Because your soul has to keep on coming back to planet Earth, incarnate to learn. But because they don't have control over your spirit or soul, they manipulate what's around you and your environment to keep you in that low state, because they know this planet is a planet of free will. It's the law of the universe. Free will here. You have a choice. So this is teaching you, I'm at least hoping to teach you to look at things with your spiritual eyes, your spiritual awareness, so that you can rectify the areas in your life that is keeping you in this karmic loop, and is what's karmic for you. This is all to help your soul ascend and come back to one, to help with the ascension of this planet, and to come back to source, God, the light. Keeping you in this karmic loop, that's what's kept them thriving. Making us feel, humanity, your souls, the spirits here, for not just now, thousands of years, that we don't have the power within, the light within, that these magical things, concepts, are just fairy tales written in books. It's not. It's not. And you have my word on that. And so, as I was saying before, as Mother Earth ascends, and she's ascending, and it helps when humanity is ascending as well. We both are ascending together. And you get to this level, higher realms, existence here on this planet, where you can start physically seeing with your eyes. Magic manifesting right before you. We have that capacity within us. Human beings are very, very, very unique in this universe. Very unique. As a matter of fact, when I was saying it was prophesied for this planet, it's because what happens here affects what happens out in the universe. And so it's not just us that are going through a very important milestone in Earth's history, spiritually. But for those out there too, outside of Earth, it's mad deep. So the goal is, remember I was saying how Earth is, that shell, that crust around Earth is crumbling? Like, it is crumbling. That darkened state, the the covering of the eyes, like all that is breaking off. It's time. We're right on time. It's time. Again, you are all here for a reason at this monumental time right now, spiritually. Just stay the course, okay? Keep your head up. Keep doing it. Keep purging. Keep awakening. Keep learning. Keep understanding. Keep putting in the efforts to get yourself back to your true essence, your true core. Because you standing in that alone shoots out so much light energy. And that is how all of us collectively are helping the ascension of this planet. Because this planet, in comparison to other planets out there, we're like fucking cavemen. Put it like that. We are very behind advancement-wise on this planet. Very behind from where we should be. And that's the reason why Mother Gaia asked for help. It was such a low vibration here in this planet. You're all here to help with elevating the energies here. This might be a super deep episode. And you know what? It is what it is. Like, I'll expand on a lot of these things in later episodes because apparently these are the types of topics you guys love for me to talk about from what I've seen in terms of the downloads from my podcast. And I love talking about this stuff. I have universal knowledge flowing through my spirit, blood in my veins. Yeah, but that universal knowledge, it's flowing right through my essence. So it's only right for me to share it. And whether you get this information from me or somebody else, I mean, that's totally up to you. But, you know, I'm here to really just help enlighten you and teach you how to get back to yourself. And I'm going to save my transformative episode for at a later date. But truly, to get to that high vibrational state, to help with Mother Earth, and to learn your lessons, because that's the reason why you came here. To get to that state, you really have to literally break apart everything you know. Take and smash it to pieces. And start from a fresh, cleansed perspective. That's how I got to my enlightenment. And that's also something I'm going to share on an episode as well. That journey to my enlightenment, which so many things played a role in. But you too can achieve your enlightenment. Be careful with how you spiritually move through life. Coming back to the energy harvesting. Put a freaking padlock, iron bar, fucking fence around your energy. Now, how can you do that? A lot of prayer for protection. People use certain stones, certain crystals. one thing I do like to do is, after I feel like I've been exposed to a lot of energy, whether it be an event, whether it be watching something, whether, you know what I mean? Cleansing yourself in the shower is helpful. So as you shower, just feel the energies like washing off of you. Just like I said about the emotions, very similar. You can also visualize protection around your auric field. Ask for source light, pure white light, the higher dimensional beings, angels, archangels, whoever you are connected to. Protect your energy, and also then visualize pure white light around you. Gold light, blue light, white light. This is why I wore white this episode. I wanted to bring that energy of purity, source, consciousness, the pure white light of God, the Creator. In case you were feeling a certain way about the events that transpired on New Year's Day. So I'm going to end it with this. This year is definitely about truth. If you're on this spiritual journey, this healing journey, which is pretty connected to spiritual journey, like they both go hand in hand, then make sure you stay afloat and continue on. And to those of you who aren't, but if you're listening to my podcast, that means there's curiosity there, which means there's been a crack in your shell for source to come in. Continue that journey as well. Don't let what's going on like mess you up. What you're seeing in the news and these events. They really think we're dumb. Like, yo, it's the last thing I'm going to say. I seen all that. I was like, y'all slipping now. Just let it go, yo. Going on your merry way, because it's a wrap. It's a wrap. But, thank you all so much for joining me on this episode. I hope you leave enlightened. I hope you leave more at ease. I hope you leave more mind blown. Which isn't my goal, but by being shell-shocked to a sense or mind-blown, it leads to limitless possibilities of what could be or what is. So, I'm going to catch you on the next episode. And always remember, everything begins from within. And the only way to be on that path of renewal is to renew your soul and your spirit. I'll see you on the next episode. Love and light. Peace.